Corey Gamble's long-standing relationship with Kris Jenner is reportedly under strain due to mounting frustrations over Gamble's alleged perceived role as her glorified assistant. The private tensions between the pair recently burst into public view during a high-profile altercation following Jeff Bezos' extravagant wedding in Venice, fueling widespread speculation that their relationship may be approaching a breaking point. Corey Gamble, who has been dating Jenner since 2014, has generally kept a low public profile, often depicted in public and media as the calm counterpart to the Kardashian-Jenner matriarch's high-octane lifestyle. However, insiders now make the claim that Gamble has reached his limit after a decade of allegedly feeling relegated to the status of personal assistant rather than equal partner. According to sources, he is sick of being treated like a glorified assistant hired to do Kris's bidding and smooth out tricky situations, which with Kris seems to happen on a daily basis. Financial disagreements have reportedly added fuel to the fire, with rumors of fights over allowances and Gamble's alleged growing resentment about the dynamics behind closed doors. The final straw appears to have been Kris's planning of a lavish destination wedding, they are not engaged, which allegedly left Gamble feeling unable to satisfy increasingly high expectations. She always wants more, and he's tired of the constant emasculation, one insider revealed. Tensions reached a fever pitch in Venice, with the couple's post-wedding departure becoming a spectacle. As reported, Kris Jenner became visibly frustrated over travel arrangements, particularly her strong preference for privacy and traveling alone. Lip reader Nicola Hickling analyzed their interaction and found Kris allegedly saying, "What are you doing? Do you need to talk? I told you, for God's sake, I like to travel alone," an exchange that played out in front of staff and event guests. Corey was seen relaying her preference to staff and managing a mounting sense of exasperation, while Kris maintained a superficial politeness with the establishment staff, telling Corey to "tell them I said thanks" when offered a towel. Observers claimed they saw a chill between the pair. The Venice altercation was foreshadowed by Gamble's solo arrival to Venice, absent from the usual Kardashian entourage. His isolated entrance only deepened public speculation about turmoil within the relationship. Behind the scenes, family relationships have seen similar tensions. Notably, Kendall Jenner, who had a frosty rapport with Gamble for years, reportedly patched things up in 2023, though lingering discomfort remained despite a brief truce. Kourtney Kardashian, meanwhile, has long privately expressed doubts about her mother's relationship with Corey, critiquing both Kris's tendency towards control and the possible loss of her feminine energy since being with Gamble. The fight has reignited debates among fans and media about Corey's role. Speculation persists whether he is merely an accessory to Kris's brand or someone struggling for autonomy and respect. Conspiracy theories about Gamble being nothing more than an employee or TV boyfriend for Kris have also circulated, although such positions are difficult to confirm. For now, the couple continues to face public scrutiny and unresolved questions about the future of their relationship. Even in Hollywood's most choreographed relationships, the line between supportive partner and perceived lack of respect can be a breaking point.
Justin Bieber's latest crash out online has not only fans concerned, but his wife Hailey also. Is this all over Selena Gomez, or is there more to the story? Let's dig in. Justin Bieber, went and took to Instagram Live on Sunday night to presumably showcase some new music. But the whole thing was extremely weird and bizarre, leaving fans shocked and concerned. Justin is having the crash out of the century after ex-Selena Gomez's new album came out, and fans are expressing their concern for him after he appeared on live stream looking unwell and unlike himself. He also recently posted a very cryptic post on social media that said, "I really tried to play nicey nicey," which many believe, is his response to Selena's new song where she sings, "How does it feel to be forgotten?" So many believe that the post was aimed at her. Now, during his Instagram Live, he can be seen listening to beats or new music from him. Honestly, it's unclear at this point. Now, the camera is also extremely close up, right to his face. You can basically see his nose hairs. So many people went in the comments to basically say he's completely crashing out, but some people defended him, saying this is just his way of doing and creating music. This is how he gets creative. But the bulk of the comment section is just filled with a lot of, "Are you okay? What is going on? Are you back on shrugs?" Now, the thing is, maybe he is okay. Unpopular opinion, I know, but it is possible he is. But also, it is possible he's not. One thing that's true, though, is that he has never been this active on social media. These last few weeks, he's been extremely on. You have to wonder why, right? It is kind of giving crash out over Selena. Now, one person online said, "Someone keep an eye on him. This is giving Aaron Carter," with another person adding, he needs Benny Blanco more than Selena does. One user actually predicted that he will be the next Kanye West, and he was also compared several times to our girl Britney Spears. Now, it's a lot going on, and the vibe is that it won't stop anytime soon. A Selena fan actually took to his comment section to write that she's worried about Selena's wedding day. She wrote, "I'm worried that on Selena's wedding day, he's going to steal her, because if he is crashing out this hard just because of an album and her and Benny's interviews, then he's going to snap on her wedding day." That comment got over 1,000 likes, so the concern is evident. People are calling for, childhood fame and what it does to people to be studied, because more times than not, we see this sort of pattern happen, and the end result, usually not good, right? Personally, I will always, I was actually always very skeptical kind of about Justin still being obsessed with Selena. Not really anymore though. A happily married man doesn't do all of this, in my opinion. Now, he will probably always be in love with Selena. Users on X are having the biggest reactions to all of this. One person wrote, "Why is Justin crashing out on the internet every day? I think it's more than just Selena and Benny and everything that's come out about Diddy. I think he's genuinely crying out for help while the whole world just sits and laughs at him." Another person said, "I think Selena has motivated him to get back to music. He said it before, Selena motivates him. So I think with all the drama and negativity going on in the media, he's pushing for new music." Someone responded to that comment by saying, "I don't think Justin ever really loved Hailey. He just settled for her because he thought Selena would be jealous. Now that she moved on, he is stuck in a relationship he probably never wanted to begin with." One theory circulating, online is that he's pretending to be insane and mentally incompetent so he doesn't have to testify at the Diddy trial. Interesting. At the end of the day, Justin Bieber's recent posts and expressions are too vague to really draw, concrete conclusions over. The whole post, I really tried to play nicey-nicey. We really don't know exactly what that means yet, but time will tell us, hopefully. Still, Justin Bieber has people in his corner no matter what, so hopefully he feels supported right now, and, in a way that he could get him, on less chaotic track, hopefully. He recently hit the gym with none other than Gunna, who, which is a crossover many fans might not have expected to witness at any time. Both are huge stars these days though, so it checks out just fine. Also, Biebs has also been a big rap fan. Hailey Bieber just unfollowed Justin on Instagram. Justin Bieber had a very active day on Instagram yesterday, sharing 8 new posts and 17 Instagram stories. That's right, 17. He shared a post with his son, Jack Bieber, and an Instagram story featuring a very close-up photo of Hailey Bieber set to Sade's, Jezebel song. Now, he posted about God as well and how he really tried to play nicey-nicey, like I said, and then he also shared a story of himself preparing a J. Now, in the midst of the social media activity, Hailey made a surprising move Monday morning. The model unfollowed her husband on the platform. Now, it's unclear whether she did it by accident or on purpose. It could also be a very early April Fool's Day joke as well, because, it is March 31st, so hey. Justin still follows her on the platform. Hailey's Instagram stories contain no hint at all of her motive. They are just regrams of her business Roadskins account. Now, Daily Mail pointed out she did recently repost a TikTok where a user wrote, "I'd be a terrible therapist because I'd want to see a pic of the person you're crying about," which had people raising eyebrows. Now, still, Hailey was very supportive of her husband's posting spree yesterday. She even commented a heart eyes emoji on his latest post. Hailey's move, though, comes months after Justin briefly unfollowed her in January. Now, he claimed it was not deliberate. He refollowed her and wrote on his own Instagram story saying, "Someone went on my account and unfollowed my wife. Ish is getting sus out here." Now, days before Hailey unfollowed Justin on Instagram, Justin shared a very emotional statement on his Instagram story saying that he felt like a fraud and unqualified most days. Now, after this post, the couple were spotted meeting a pastor at a Los Angeles church. Now, that visit came, right after Justin admitted to struggling with anger issues in another Instagram post. He also revealed that he wants to grow and not react so much. And on March 21st, a source spoke about the state of, Bieber's marriage, shutting down speculation that there was trouble. The source said, "Things are fine. Hailey's working and Justin's creating music." The insider also added, "They are just doing their thing. They are not concerned what people think. They have a great life. They love being parents. They have a great marriage too." Now, on February 24th, a source also said that Hailey has made a real effort effort to be there for her husband as he, manages his mental health, saying Hailey is trying to be as supportive as possible. It can be hard for Hailey, but she's always there for him and is understanding. Now, Hailey actually spoke to W Magazine last July about how upsetting speculation about her and Justin's relationship has been. She revealed that she works with a therapist in order to not let the negative comments get to her. She said, people have made me feel so bad about my relationship since day one. Oh, they're falling apart. They hate each other. They're getting divorced. It's like people don't want to believe that we're happy. I used to try to act like it hurts less and less. I've tried to think that, you get used to it at a certain point, that this is what it's going to be, and she basically said, she realizes that it doesn't actually ever hurt any less. The drama between Justin and Hailey Bieber seems to be going on forever. Amid Hailey unfollowing Justin, fans took to social media, instantly asking Justin why his wife unfollowed him. Others quickly responded saying things like, "You're right, she did. I just checked. She did. LOL, and she is done." However, other admirers of the couple pointed out that no, she didn't, adding that it appears that everyone unfollowed the singer because he deactivated the account for 7 minutes. Another person said, no, she didn't. When someone deactivates their account, it takes a while for them to show up in someone's following. So personally, I just checked right now on Instagram, like a couple months ago, and Hailey is still unfollowing Justin. Like, he's still not on her list. So I don't think it's a glitch, and I checked Justin's account as well, and he is following her. So she's not following him, he's following her. So let's see what transpires in the next few days, yeah?
At number 10, Charlie Sheen. The Plaza Hotel is one of the most elegant, prestigious, and well-known hotels in New York. Many of you may know it from Home Alone 2, but me, I know it from the 2009 film Bride Wars. If you know, you know. Well, no matter where you know it from, there is one person who will never step foot in there again, and that's Charlie Sheen. The former 2.5 Men star is reportedly banned from the hotel following an incident from 2010. It is said that Charlie had something of a destructive episode while high, where he caused thousands of dollars in damages to his suite. I wasn't able to find the exact monetary amount of damage that Charlie racked up, as there are reports from amounts of $7,000 all the way up to $20,000, but the bottom line here is that he shredded that room to pieces. He broke mirrors, TVs, and even reportedly had a woman hiding in his room screaming. The situation was so bad that police had to be called to escort the actor from the premises, and he's been permanently banned from the hotel ever since. Coming in at number 9, Kris Jenner. The Kardashians/Jenner clan are amongst the biggest and most famous A-list celebrities in Hollywood. Love them or hate them, they're still some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry, so you'd think that they'd be invited to all of the hottest parties, but no. Turns out there's at least one event that the Kardashians are not welcome to attend, and those are Oscar parties. If you can believe it, the Kardashians have been banned from all Oscar parties, and it's all Kris Jenner's fault. According to reports, Kris Jenner had been invited to an Oscars bash in the past until one event where she reportedly got drunk and was involved in some unacceptable behavior. This made the studio who was hosting the party look bad, so they issued a ban on the Kardashians. The reality family is known for being a little problematic, so the Oscars rep said none of that here, and they just won't welcome them back. But can you really blame them? Now, before I get into the rest of the video, I would like to ask you guys to leave a like on this video. It really helps out if you do, so if you're enjoying the video so far, please smash that like. In at number 8, Chris Brown. Chris Brown has a bit of a temper, as a few of you may already know, so it's no surprise that he's been banned from somewhere for being a bit unruly and aggressive. Chris is now banned from the Lifetime Athletic chain of gyms and fitness centers after his encounter with a manager from one of their New York City locations. Reports say that Chris and his friends were in a game of basketball when they started getting loud and unruly and started swearing at each other. As the manager came in to speak to the group and asked them to tone down their voices and music, that's when Chris got angry. According to TMZ, Chris, quote, went ballistic, screaming and swearing at the woman. Chris and his friends were then asked to leave, and Chris reportedly spat on the door on his way out. I mean, dude, all you had to do was stop being so loud and you could have finished your game. Now there is no game to be had. At number 7, Madonna. It seems like Madonna has a record of being on her phone at inappropriate moments, and this is exactly what's led to getting her banned in a few places. First, let's talk about how the pop singer was sort of banned from the Alamo Drafthouse Theater. Back in 2013, Madonna was called out by a film critic during a screening of the film 12 Years a Slave. The critic wrote about how Madonna was texting during the first half of the film, and when the theater got a hold of this information, they issued a statement saying that she would be banned from the theater until she issues an apology. Now, after the scrutiny that she faced in in 2013 at the movies, you'd think that she'd have learned her lesson from that, but oh no. She was also reportedly banned from seeing the Hamilton musical after she was caught by one of the show's stars, Jonathan Groff, for also being on her phone during the production. As a die-hard Hamilton fan, that hurts me to think that she'd disrespect that wonderful musical with her stupid texting. Lin-Manuel Miranda is more important than whoever you're texting, Madonna. Coming in at number 6, Blake Lively. Blake Lively once experienced the wrath of Disney after trying to sneak into Disneyland. In an interview with David Letterman, she revealed that when she was a kid, she and her brother tried sneaking into the theme park. Blake revealed that their plan of action was to take wristbands of people who had left the park and put hairspray on them in order to transfer the barcode onto themselves. They scanned through and got past the gates only to be met with park security. Disney does not play around. The actress said that she and her brother were taken to Disney jail where they were given a 1-year ban from the park. Luckily, after their year ban was up, they were allowed to return to the park with no problem, but I'm sure she never tried to sneak in anywhere again. Halfway through at number 5, Nicki Minaj. Sometimes fans can be a little too much, and Nicki Minaj knows that feeling all too well. The rapper was kicked out of and banned from the Dorchester Hotel in London after her fans, or as she calls them, barbs, became too much for the hotel staff to handle. After arriving at the hotel, Nicki's fans swarmed the place hoping to catch a glimpse of their music icon. It was reported that though they were asked to leave by hotel staff and security, they just wouldn't budge and even started tagging the hotel elevator with graffiti. There were fans camping outside of the hotel, and it was even reported that a fight broke out, resulting in an ambulance having to be called to the area. Staff were really just fed up with the Barb's antics and asked Nicki and her team to find another venue and banned her from the hotel as a result. Even though Nicki has said that she and her fans are a package deal, I don't think the hotels and venues like that idea very much. At number 4, Lindsay Lohan. Speaking of hotels, it turns out Lindsay Lohan was also banned from a hotel, this time being the Chateau Marmont in West Hollywood. It was reported that the hotel had asked Lindsay to remove her belongings and leave the premises after she was unable to settle her $46,000 hotel bill. Yeah. Lohan, who had been staying at the hotel for 2 months, had racked up a bill totaling $46,350, and she received a letter from the hotel's general manager which said, quote, "As we have made repeated attempts to resolve this pressing matter over the last few weeks without any resolution, I regret to inform you that we are no longer able to extend any further credit for you to remain in the hotel. Please have all of your belongings removed from Suite 33 by 12 p.m. Wednesday, August 1st, 2012. They also sent her a list of expenses from the hotel, and let me tell you, that list is long. Like several pages of bills. Over the course of her stay, she racked up thousands of dollars worth of cigarettes, minibar items, and dining expenses as well. She's since been able to settle her debts with the hotel, but she really evaded that one for a while. Over $40,000! My god. Coming in at number 3, Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton, the great-granddaughter of the founder of the Hilton Hotels, has ironically been banned from a hotel that luckily isn't one of her namesakes. In 2010, Paris was banned from 2 Wynn Resort hotels in Las Vegas after an incident occurred which led to police catching the heiress with just under a gram of no snow in her purse. It is said that police caught Hilton red-handed as she was looking through her purse for lip balm, and then that's when the bag of no sugar fell out. As one would, she tried to cover her butt by saying that she borrowed the purse from a friend and that it wasn't actually hers, but police didn't believe her and she was arrested for the felony possession charge. This incident didn't just get her banned from the hotel either, she was also banned from the country of Japan because of her drug charge. The country's immigration department has a very strict rule against letting anyone with a criminal record in. So guys, just don't do drugs. Just don't. Especially if you want to go to Japan. At number 2, Ariana Grande. Do you guys remember that Ariana Grande donut incident? That one was really buried deep in my brain until I read this story again. For those who have no clue what I'm talking about, in 2015, Ariana Grande was caught licking a donut on display at a donut shop called Wolfie Donuts in Lake Elsinore, California. She and her friends were visiting the shop when they dared the pop star to lick the donut. Seemed harmless enough until the footage of that incident was posted online. She was also captured making some less than friendly remarks about Americans for some reason. Once she was exposed on social media for her behavior, she issued an apology to her fans and to the bakery for her actions. It was also reported that the bakery's owner had originally wanted to press charges but decided against it in the end. But instead, she's been banned from the establishment ever since. Finally, at number 1, Lil Wayne. Turns out Lil Wayne has quite a rocky past when it comes to the NBA. In 2012, he was denied entry to an Oklahoma City Thunder's game after what seemed to have been a ticketing mix-up. And then in 2013, there was an altercation during a Lakers vs. Heat game that left him not only banned from the game, but just banned from all NBA events. Apparently, the rapper got into a verbal altercation with a fan in the stands, and this outburst led to him gesturing to the fan that he had a gun. This led to him allegedly leaving the stadium on his own accord and being banned from all NBA events. Just to make matters worse, he then went on a Twitter rampage, as one does, saying some NSFW stuff about the NBA and Chris Bosh's wife. Way to leave things on good terms, dude.
Starting off our list at number 10 today, we have Beyonce and Jay-Z. Back in January of 2015, Beyonce and Jay-Z had anything but a quiet sushi night as the megastar couple was captured getting into it at Sushi Park restaurant in Los Angeles. In released photos, Beyonce could be seen yelling at her husband. And later, OK Magazine would then speculate that the altercation happened because Jay-Z's non-stop cell phone use during dinner. However, like many mysteries and the fact that the couple usually tends to keep their private life, pretty private, no one can say for sure what the two may have been arguing about. However, this wouldn't be the couple's first public fight, since back in 2014, the couple had an infamous elevator incident that first brought potential difficulties in their relationship to light, and both have explored marital conflict in their albums 444 and Lemonade respectively. But it seems like all is well now as they continue to gush about each other in interviews, and back in 2017, Jay-Z also said he was really proud of the art Beyonce was releasing, and he also noted that she was amazing. Coming in number 9, Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. Just before Emma Roberts and Evan Peters split for good, the American Horror Story co-stars in 2013 were caught on camera while they had a pretty serious physical fight. While it may have seemed at the time that the two were actually a perfect couple in Hollywood, it was anything but perfect. When the two stars started to make headlines after they had a pretty public fight in Montreal, the New York Daily News would then report that the Montreal police had to attend to the scene after people called in a domestic situation. When the police showed up to the couple's hotel room, they would find Evan with a handful of injuries, which included a bloody nose and a bite mark. The police then opted to arrest Emma on the scene, even after Evan chose not to file charges against her. Although Emma was released, the paparazzi would then capture her breaking down when she learned the news had reached the media. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. When Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth posed at the LA premiere of the Avengers Endgame in 2019, their red carpet smiles didn't last too long, as the two widely displayed their different styles and tensions between them were pretty palpable. When Miley couldn't stop talking about how she wanted to let her hair down and have a crazy fun night out, Liam was there to support his brother Kris and was hoping to have a fairly chilled evening. And it appears neither of them would end up leaving the red carpet happy at the end of the night, as Miley did Miley, as she was seen vamping it up for photographers, and her Aussie actor hubby at the time grew increasingly uncomfortable, resulting in the famous duo getting into their first major fight as a married couple. And you could even see Liam at one point on the red carpet telling Miley to behave. After the two then walked off the red carpet, Liam would then angrily accuse Miley of turning the premiere into the Miley show, and once the couple got home, a source would then reveal that they got into a big fat argument. And then jump to the day, Miley wrote a song called Flowers that highlights their relationship and how it was never perfect. And it's been number 1 on the billboards for the last 3 weeks, and she even took a jab at Liam in the music video by wearing the suit he wore that night on the red carpet. At number 7, we have Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. Before Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck decided to go their separate ways, the world was pretty shocked to learn that their marriage was anything but perfect. While there were plenty of rumors in 2015 that suggested Ben had been unfaithful in their marriage with the family's former nanny, after the couple returned home from vacation, a fight would break out shortly after, and this is when they dropped their 3 children off at school. Onlookers would then tell In Touch that Jennifer and Ben were in their SUV when things started to get a little out of hand. They even started to claim that there was lots of gesturing through it all, and the photos and videos captured, you could see Jennifer crying. This is when people started to believe that Ben was making it clear that their marriage was over and that he was going forward with the divorce. Number 6, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. At one point in time, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were were Hollywood's it couple, and you couldn't turn around without seeing them mentioned somewhere in the street. But it seems like after the couple filed for divorce and went their separate ways, they have been hitting headlines for some pretty serious accusations. Before the couple ultimately decided to part ways, they would be spotted at Legoland in Windsor, and they would be spotted coming off this ride with their children, and the couple could be seen getting into a pretty serious argument where Brad would be shown touching Angelina's arm before she pulled away and decided to shout in the actor's face while they were in public. The people who captured the photos then said they saw the couple again later, and they looked like they were still arguing sometime later. Number 5, Channing Tatum and Jenna Darwin. While it seems to be a trend of couples meeting on the set of movies and getting together and becoming couples, Channing Tatum and Jenna Darwin were no exception, as the pair started dating shortly after they worked together on the iconic dance movie Step Up. Although it looked like things were going extremely well for the pair, they would show the world that there were signs that things were off for months before they announced their divorce. Jenna would even open up about the couple's last months together in their relationship in her book. This is when she would claim that the two were only hurting each other by staying together. Also leading up to the couple's divorce, the couple were often seen sharing words out in public before heading out and getting snapped by the media in several photos. And after the public arguments, it would seem like Jenna would rather look at her cell phone than talk to Channing. Number 4, Blueface and Krishan Rock. Lately it seems like Blueface and his girlfriend Krishan keep making headlines for all the wrong reasons. If you've been online for the past few months, then you probably have seen the viral videos and tweets of the rappers going viral with the rise of the couple's reality show Crazy in Love. However, while some users view the relationship as entertaining, I think we can collectively agree that their relationship is pretty toxic, as we have seen the two enter into some pretty concerning altercations. The problem with the two is not only that the relationship is dangerous, but it's also harmful for the immediate parties around them. While it seems like Krishan is the main reason behind the couple's toxic relationship, she would go into an interview to come out to address the public's concern about her relationship by saying, "We're just here learning, figuring things out. We met each other how we met each other, but that's it." However, now that Krishan has announced her pregnancy with Blueface, things are only going to get more messy going forward, and that's what is the most concerning part for their fans watching. Number 3, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. Like any couple, it's no secret that Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman have endured their fair share of issues throughout their relationship. After all, Keith has used some of their disagreements as inspiration for his songs. While the couple often tends to keep their disagreements away from the media, back in 2016 when Nicole was captured giving her husband a look that no husband wants to see, the internet would go into a frenzy while they tried to figure out what happened. The confrontation would happen when they were at a movie premiere. Insiders would then tell the Daily Mail that things took a turn when Keith got upset over the couple's very busy schedules as they had spent the year apart. Apparently, Keith wanted to return to Australia to be with their family, but Nicole, on the other hand, was just really sick of Keith sulking about them being apart, and she just wanted him to be with her and support her career. Number 2, Rihanna and Chris Brown. Back in the day, Rihanna and Chris Brown had a relationship that made us all raise our eyebrows. Eventually, during their relationship, after headlines started to show that Chris got into a physical altercation with Rihanna, he would eventually be arrested and charged, and eventually the stars would also call off their relationship. Just before, the couple was at a pre-Grammy party when they started arguing in a car. Later, Rihanna would then open up about the altercation in an interview with Diane Sawyer. There, she would claim that their altercation started after Rihanna saw a text from a girl on Chris's phone. Rihanna then said that she knew he was lying and that he knew he had nowhere to turn. However, Rihanna would then go on to note that there had been warning signs that something bad was going to happen long before the incident. Apparently, the more the couple fell in love, the more they both started to realize how dangerous they were for another. Today, Rihanna has used her experience to help other young women going through similar situations. Number 1, Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf. Just before Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf decided to split, they had quite a habit of getting caught on camera having these really public fights. Just before the two started dating, Shia actually met and fell in love with Mia Goth on a set of their movie, and eventually they decided to walk down the aisle. While the couple has now gone on their separate ways, they were involved in some pretty high profile and public fights while they were in Germany. In a viral video in 2015, the two could be seen screaming
at each other. The footage in that video would then show Shy walking away from the scene and getting into a car as he explains that he didn't want to hurt Mia. Then a source would confirm that apparently when Mia tried to talk to Shy again, he would then respond to Mia by saying he was being pushed and he didn't want to be aggressive.
At number 10, Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda is an incredible actress and activist, and she spent a surprising amount of time in jail. Not for extended periods of time, but she really isn't that afraid of getting arrested. Over the years, Jane has been taken to jail on a number of occasions, most recently following a string of climate protests. In late 2019, Jane was leading a weekly climate change protest, which she called Fire Drill Fridays. Her most recent arrest happened in December of 2019, just a day before her 82nd birthday, where she and a number of other protesters were detained for participating in the climate change demonstration. This most recent arrest followed two more that she had faced as a result of her protests. Like I said, Jane isn't afraid of getting arrested as long as she gets her message of change across. Jane said that up until this recent string of arrests, she hadn't been behind bars since the 70s. At that point in her early life, Jane was arrested after speaking out against the Vietnam War, although her charges back then were more severe than her most recent ones. Her arrest in the 70s came after she was initially charged with fraudulent drug trafficking and assaulting an officer, both of which were inevitably dropped. In 2019, she was arrested 5 times, and apparently because her list of arrests was starting to climb, had she been arrested more, she could have risked serving a longer jail sentence, but I don't think that Jane was really all that afraid of that risk. She's just there for the movement, not for her image. At number 9, Cole Sprouse. In another case of a celebrity being arrested for protesting, next up we've got Cole Sprouse. The Riverdale star and former Disney Channel actor was arrested back in June 2020 during a peaceful protest during last summer's Black Lives Matter movement. After the ordeal, Cole took to his Instagram to talk about what happened that day, where he said, quote, "We were given the option to leave, and we were informed that if we did not retreat, we would be arrested. When many did turn to leave, we found another line of police officers blocking our route, and at which point they started zip tying us." Cole also went on to voice that he didn't want the news of his and other public figures' detainment to take away from the movement, and so he wanted to take his headline of his arrest away from the news outlets in order to focus on the real matter at hand, the lives of Black people. Cole and a number of other protesters were held in police custody for around 90 minutes before being charged with a misdemeanor count of violating curfew and then being let go. Now, before I carry on with the list, I would like to take a moment and ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also head on over to my gaming channel Viper Girl if gameplay content is something that you're interested in as well. So feel free to check it out and maybe subscribe while you're there. At number 8, Reese Witherspoon. Stepping away from arrests for fighting for other people, let's talk about a celebrity arrest that just made the star look bad. Reese Witherspoon seems to have a little bit of diva energy buried within, and we got to see a glimpse of that energy escape when she and her husband were arrested in 2013. The two of them were pulled over by an officer, and Reese's husband was given a DUI charge, and in an effort to fight the charges and probably intimidate the arresting officer into letting them go, Reese pulled the "do you know who I am" card, but it didn't exactly work out as she had hoped. Her attempt at defending her husband resulted in the actress being arrested for disorderly conduct, but the news of her arrest wasn't the only thing to hit the media. The whole incident was also caught on camera.
I told you.
I'm an American citizen.
I told you to get in that car and stay in there, didn't I?
This is beyond. This is beyond.
You fight with me. I promise
This
you.
is harassment. You're harassing me as an American citizen.
Years later, in 2020, Reese opened up about her experience getting arrested, where she called the arrest, quote, "embarrassing and dumb." At number 7, Amber Heard. Last year, following the explosive court case with her ex-husband Johnny Depp, Amber was exposed for all kinds of horrible things that she subjected her partner to while they were still together, and a lot of people went looking through her past, looking for any behavioral patterns, and found out that she had once been arrested for having a physical dispute in an airport. Back in 2009, Amber Heard was arrested for getting into a physical altercation with her then partner Taza Van Ree at an airport in Seattle. According to the arresting officer that day, she witnessed Amber hit Ree and then took action, proceeding to arrest and book Amber for the misdemeanor battery charge. There was supposed to be a court proceeding to further process her case. However, the prosecutor refused to move forward with the case, and it was dismissed even though there was a witness to the incident. In response to the charges, Ree told sources that the incident was blown out of proportions and that the arresting officer was just homophobic, and that's why Amber was arrested. But the officer insisted that this was not the case and actually wrote about it on her social media, making a statement on on Facebook saying that she identifies as a gay woman and that she didn't issue the arrest out of spite or prejudice, but because she saw the whole thing unfold. At number 6, Edward Furlong. Actor Edward Furlong, known for his roles in Terminator 2 and Pet Sematary 2, got himself into a bit of trouble with the law back in 2004 after his drunken escapades led officers to arresting him in public. Furlong and a few of his friends were out on the town one night, and after having an evening of drinking, the group decided to go to a grocery store at around 11 p.m. I guess in their drunken state, they decided to become animal activists or something, because when they started walking around the seafood department and came across the lobster tank, they got the great idea to plan a great prison escape and tried to free the lobsters. When the employees saw what Edward and his friends were doing, they tried to get them to stop, but if you've ever played GTA, then you know you can't just stop a heist in the middle of it. The police were later called, and the actor was apprehended and charged with misdemeanor public intoxication, booked, and spent 3 hours in jail that night before being bailed out by the director of the film he was working on at the time. At number 5, Amy Schumer. Let's talk about another celebrity who got arrested for protesting. Back in 2018, there was a lot of tension surrounding the allegations against Brett Kavanaugh, as during that time he was a US Supreme Court nominee. After the announcement of his nomination, backlash ensued as multiple women came forward alleging that they had experienced unwanted contact with Kavanaugh. If you want more specifics on the matter, you'll have to look it up because there are just some things I am not allowed to discuss on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure you kind of get what I'm talking about. Anyway, a lot of people took to protesting Kavanaugh's nomination because of the allegations against him, and comedian Amy Schumer was one of those people. Amy was present at a protest showing solidarity for some of the people who have had bad experiences with Kavanaugh, and as a result of her part in the protest, Amy was arrested. There are videos of the comedian at the event and of her being escorted out by police, but Amy said that she wanted to be arrested for this cause, and so she was. At number 4, Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne has had many drunken escapades in his day, and he has made many headlines for some of the outrageous things that he's done while under the influence. In February 1982, he was in the news after getting arrested in San Antonio, Texas, after he was caught peeing on a cenotaph which honored the Alamo. The musician was apprehended after being seen wandering the streets of San Antonio wearing one of Sharon Osbourne's dresses, and after relieving himself on the cenotaph, he was picked up by officers, detained, and was charged with public intoxication. After paying bond, Ozzy was released but was promptly banned from the entire city as a result. Luckily for him, he returned to San Antonio in 1992, apologizing for the incident and making a $10,000 donation to the Daughters of the Texas Republic, an organization which maintains the property that Ozzy peed on. This just added one more crazy story to his growing collection of drunk tales and hopefully taught him a lesson about peeing on things. At number 3, 50 Cent. Back in 2016, rapper 50 Cent got into some trouble while in the Caribbean after saying some colorful language on stage at one of his concerts. It all happened during one of his performances while in St. Kitts. In St. Kitts, the use of profanity in public is illegal, and so when it came to his concert, he was told that he had to refrain from using any adult language while on stage. During one of his songs, he mistakenly said the word mother effer in front of the audience of 40,000 people, and that was a huge no-no. The rapper was allowed to finish the rest of his set, but he was promptly arrested after the show. In his defense, 50 Cent said that he didn't have a clean version of the song, and he forgot to move his mic away from his mouth when he said the word. Luckily for him, when it came to his legal matters in court, he was only asked to pay a fine, and he settled the charge against him, but I'm sure he's since made sure to never repeat that mistake again. At number 2, Winona Ryder. Actress Winona Ryder was riding a huge wave of success in her early career, but she seemingly hit rock bottom in the media after her shoplifting scandal back in 2001. Winona was caught stealing a good amount of merchandise from Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills, and the actress was promptly caught and arrested. Winona was apprehended by police after having stolen about $5,500 worth of merchandise and was charged with grand theft and vandalism and was found guilty of her crimes. She luckily didn't have to face any jail time and was instead forced to pay a fine of $2,700 and had to complete 480 hours of community service to make up for her offense. This scandal tarnished her career for a long time, and this arrest was public and all over the news, but she has since moved on from the incident and has regained some success in later years. And finally, at number 1, George Clooney. After attending a protest in front of the Sudanese embassy in Washington, D.C. in 2012, actor George Clooney was arrested in public. The actor was attending a protest to make a statement against the Sudanese government for the treatment of their civilians and for not providing their people with humanitarian aid. George was one of the many people in the crowd to be detained for their public demonstration, and there are many photos of the actor being escorted away from the building by officers. After getting arrested at the protest, the actor was charged with a misdemeanor for disorderly crossing a police line and was forced to pay a fine of $100.